show you how I bridle him, and then just kind of get his head down, and then I'm going to flex him with the bridle before I start to ride him. So when I start to bridle him, get that. I want to keep a short connection on the lead line with his head so I can control him if he goes to walk away or anything like that. And I keep the halter around his neck. So I still have him attached here. And I also put the reins around his head. So the English bridle, or one with a noseband, I just hold this up here with the crown piece. If you're like bridling your horse for the first time, I have it a little bit bigger. You don't want it too tight when you get it on him and it kind of hurts him. This is already sized to fit him, so you want to break his head. You want it lower, like he kind of keeps his head and neck low already. But if you had like a much bigger horse, you want to teach him to lower his neck. And I just kind of put pressure right here on his pole until he lowers his head. There, he lowers his head, and then so I just started off soft, then I kept pressing, there it goes. And then I release, and then I rub him. You just keep doing that until he kind of keeps his head and neck low. If you've done all the groundwork, he should stand pretty fine, pretty relaxed, because you taught him that relaxation. And then you want his head straight. So if he's looking over here, whenever he moves his head away from straight, I just pull it back. So every time he goes to go look at something, he feels the pressure. Right here, where his head is straight, he feels no pressure. It's comfortable. And then if you are up here and actually bridling him, you can just use pressure on the side of his face to bring him back and then release. But you want having his head straight, a comfortable position. So when I actually go to bridle him, I'm going to have the noseband up on the crown piece together, and then I'm going to put my right hand right here against his head, and then I'm going to put it right here. So I want it in my right hand, and then I'm going to guide the bit in with my left hand. So if you can't get to this point, that's all right. Like, I get it to here, get his head straight, and then take it away. So as long as he's calm, he's not tossing his head, pulling away, bringing it up. So I'm just going to push him back here. Then you want to release when he's doing what you want, which is staying level, staying calm. Bring it back up. So the first stage of like just teaching him bridle would just be straight for him. There, he's doing what I want, so I'm going to take it back. So the first stage is just having the bit near him and getting the bridle on his face. So just like approaching him with bridle. So now he's fine. So you did it well that time. So after I can approach him with the bridle, then I'm going to have the bit kind of just touch his lips. So I'm just going to have it touch his lips. There. And if he were to drag his head really low and try to avoid me, I just use the halter or kind of push his neck up with my hands. It would be the opposite of getting his head down. Just kind of pinch him under here. Okay. Up. And then I'm going to stick my thumb in the corner of his mouth, and I'm going to wait for him, and he's kind of lazy, he doesn't want to open his mouth, so I'm going to kind of wiggle it around, kind of press on his tongue. There, he opens his mouth, so I'm going to just take it away. The idea is I want you to open your mouth. Pressure goes away when you open your mouth. And then the next time, I would actually put it in. But when I put it in, I want to just pull up on the crown piece and then guide it instead of jamming it in with my left hand. Oh, he's okay. And touch his lips, he's okay. Put my hand in his mouth, he's okay. So then he's all right to bridle. So I just want to wiggle my thumb around, wait for him. It may take a while, just don't stop wiggling until he opens his mouth, because then he's like, oh, well, the pressure went away and I didn't have to do it, and here we go. So he opened his mouth, I just slid it up, slid it into his mouth, and I want to do this opposite ear, and then try and fold that one in, and then just kind of lay that down. So that way, the noseband doesn't get in his eyes while I bridle him, and then you can just set it right down and adjust it. So I want to do the opposite ear, then this ear, and then you do your throat latch. I like to have it fairly loose. You could probably go up a hole, but. And then I also do all my nose bands loose. Underneath here without poking in the eye. But I just do that on the second to last or the last hole. So this one, it's going to be the last hole. So I know with a lot of English nosebands, they do them tight. I do mine loose, almost to a point where it's a Western noseband. I like the idea of the Western noseband just being loose, and then when he does open his mouth, he feels a little pressure instead of holding it shut. Then he learns himself, like, oh, when my mouth's open, I feel a little pressure, instead of holding it so he can't do it. And then it still looks nice. It's not dangling off his face. So and this bridle fits in pretty good.